three-way tie for the lead. One stroke off the pace, Gary Player. Dave Hill, a hot putter today, just 2 strokes off the pace. Tommy Aaron continues his fine play. Dave Stockton is very much in it. So in other words, the leaders today have not been faltering, but those close to the lead have been moving ever closer. Outstanding play under ideal weather conditions here at Augusta National Golf Club. Now, action on the 9th hole. This was Billy Casper a few moments ago as we watch on videotape his try for a birdie. Now he had just come up with a double bogey at 8, and instead of being 9 under par was 7 under, but that birdie putt a few moments ago placed him 8 under par. Remember now, this is on videotape just a few moments ago. Now Casper's playing with Gary Player. This is for a birdie at the 9th hole. And that was the birdie putt that enabled Gary Player, the only foreign player ever to win this Masters, to move within 1 shot of the lead. So right now, let's go out to the live action at the par 5 15th.
And Tony Jacklin will be going for an eagle here on the 15th. This green he reached very handsomely in 2 shots. Jacklin was over this green yesterday and almost in the water behind it with his second shot. Well, the current British Open champion has just a little tap in. A little more than a tap in, but it's his birdie 4 and brings him back to even par. His playing companion today, Bert Green. Bert was out of the fairway with his tee shot, but did elect to come to the green with his second, but went into the water, took the penalty and dropped out on the far side, and now he's putting for his par 5. If he sinks this putt, which is probably 6 feet, he would remain even. This is the 15th hole in the final day here of the Masters of 1970. And after going in the water, Bert Green continues to get his par here. Meanwhile, back up the fairway on this 520-yard hole, we have Jack Nicklaus and his companion, Orville Moody. Moody about to hit. As you could see, he used a wood, and he went for the green. He may have hit it too much, and he's over the green. It's rolling down and toward the water beyond, and is it going to stop? It comes up over to the edge. He stays in the grass. He's safe. Jack Nicklaus now with his second shot. Big tee shot Jack hit here. Dead level with the last big mound. Jack's ball, too. Seems to be a little... Hits the flagstick! Jack hits the flagstick with his second shot. The ball looked as though it was going over the green, and it might well have gone all the way over and into the water beyond. But it hit it dead center and stopped. So now quickly over to 13.
Leading the players over the bridge, Dave Hill at 6 under par for the tournament, followed by Dave Stockton at 4 under par. Both very much in contention, and each man with a long eagle chance here. Dave Hill is perhaps 40 feet from the hole, pin high. Dave Stockton just on the collar of the green with a chip or putt of 50 feet. We go to 16.
And here on 16, British Open champion Jacklin. And he's way over and would nearly have done a hole-in-one yesterday when the flag was just there. Jacklin leaves himself a 45-yard putt. He's even par, and we got one back today. Playing partner Bert Green, also even par. He started even, and so he's even all round. Bert Green, the 16th, the flag today, on the right-hand top side. Yesterday it was on the left-hand top side. So there's no bunker between them and the flag today. His line is just to the left of the far right-hand bunker in the distance. Now to 15.
Jack Nicklaus walking up into the 15th green with the crowd applauding. Now back over to 16.
And arriving is Bert Green's tee shot, and you can see the slope there as it fades away to the left and leaves the umpire to 20 feet when it was about 14, when it pitched and back to 13.
Dave Stockton, 50 feet from the hole, chipping for an eagle. Oh, it's a fine shot, 2 feet from the hole. His playing partner, Dave Hill, preparing for a 40-foot eagle shot, which can tie him for the lead in the Masters. There's a very subtle ridge between him and the flag, and the flag is cut only some 12 to 15 feet, as you can see, from the edge of the green. He does not have a lot of space to maneuver with. Now Dave Hill, a very important putt, a very critical putt for him. He can tie the lead if he makes this putt. 40 feet from the hole. Dave Hill. There it is, gone beyond recall. No. That's a safe birdie, though. It should make him 7 under for the tournament, 1 behind the leaders. Thirteenth green, final round of the Masters. And perhaps it's not such an easy birdie putt after all. He's 2.5 feet from the hole. He's taking very great care. He's missed. Very critical putt for Hill. So he's still 2 shots behind the pace. We move to 15.
Nicklaus is about to get set to try for his eagle. He eagled this hole yesterday. This would be his second eagle of the day because he also eagled the second hole today. He is 2 under par. He was much farther yesterday and made the putt. But today he will have to settle for a birdie 4 here on the 15th. Having slid that distance by, marks his ball. Orville Moody, who was over the green with his second shot, left himself short with the third, and still considerably short with his little pitch shot to the pin And he's now trying for the one putt that would give him the par 5, which would leave him even. Moody, ironically, has had 5s on the hole all 3 previous rounds. But today it becomes a costly bogey 6, and he goes to 1 over par. Nicklaus, if he sinks this birdie putt, would go to 3 under, having started play today 1 under, and at one time today was 4 under when he had finished the 8th hole. This is for a birdie. He moves 3 under par and off the 15th, and we go back to the 14th.
That is Frank Beard, who hit his second shot just over the 14th green. He has about 14 feet of green to work with. He's playing with Takaki Kono. Beard does not have the putter in his hand, so he'll chip it from where he is. He's 3 under par. Excellent shot by Frank Beard. Now to 18.
Here's the leading amateur in the tournament so far, Charlie Cole, preparing to hit his second shot at 18. And an excellent shot it is at the 18th, and we're going back to 16.
And on the tee, Jack Nicklaus. 3 under now. 190 yards, probably only 5 iron for him. Jack Nicklaus. Towering up towards the pin, is it enough? And the answer is no. He leaves himself a very long putt, dead straight, but the wrong club. A 60-footer coming up for Nicklaus, and now Orville Moody tees up. He started even, and now he's 1 over, so he's dropped 1 today. Orville Moody, 860. And as another one, dead straight, but almost 2 clubs short for Orville Moody. Going to see some very, very long putts on this green if we come back here later. And now to 14.
Dave Stockton surveying his second shot here at 14. Slightly uphill it will be, and into the wind. Many of the players have been short today because of that. Stockton 5 under par. That's the shot that Dave Stockton was looking up at just a moment ago. At 5 under par. Almost hit the flagstick, rolls over slightly, but that's what the golfers prefer, to play the hole with a chance of going over rather than being short. That's Dave Hill, who is just 2 shots away from the lead, 6 under par. Three-putted 13 for a par just a moment ago. Seen a lot of them not quite so sure about what club they want to use here at 14. It's 420 yards. Shot as we've seen at 14. And Hill leaves himself with an excellent shot at a birdie. Now to 16.
And here on 16, we're going to see quite a lot of putting. They'll do very well if they get down in 4 putts between them. Nicholas about 60 to 65, and Moody 65 to 70 feet. Moody first, and we go to 18.
Bob Charles preparing to hit his third shot, his second quite short of the green. And the 34-year-old New Zealander, the only left-hander ever to win a major championship, the British Open back in 1963, is on the 18th green in 3, and we're going back now to 16.
There's Orville Moody. He's going to be the first to putt. You can see by how little he carried the water and got just onto the front part of this very deep and lengthy green. 65 to 70 feet it will be. It's difficult to tell whether he took completely the wrong club and hit a good shot, or whether vice versa, and he took the right club and didn't quite do it right. You can't quite see from behind the green. But at any rate, it's about 70 feet for Orville Moody. Mostly up the slope. He doesn't want to go too far and come charging past. We'll have a very difficult one to trickle in towards the hole back again. Orville Moody, a very long one, on the 16th. Well, he judged the line perfectly, but he's a good 4 feet short, and we go to 18.
This is Charlie Coe, our leading amateur, putting for a birdie at 18. A downhill putt. Charlie is right now 4 over for the tournament, 3 over today. Steve Melnick, a 75 today, and finished the tournament 9 over. And Vinnie Giles, a 74 today, finished the tournament 8 over. So the veteran Charlie Coe is the low amateur in the 1970 Masters and continues his illustrious play, and we go out to 16.
Back to Jack Nicklaus. Same sharp curl on it, and he is almost equidistant. I don't know who it will be to putt. They're almost side by side there, a good 4 feet each. I'd say it's Moody first. Moody starting the day even, and 1 over now. Nicklaus starting the day 1 under and 3 under now, back to 18.
This is Bob Charles for a par. And certainly Charles's reputation as one of the fine putters didn't suffer, and we go to 16.
And first in is Moody. He gets away with it. Very long putt and a 4-footer. Par 3 for Moody. He remains 1 over. Back to Jack Nicklaus, starting 1 under, now 3 under. He has this for par 3 to stay 3 under. Jack Nicklaus. Well done by both of them. They get away with it, and they go off as they started. Moody 1 over, Nicklaus 3 under. to 18.
We have an opportunity right now, as we are about to conclude, what shall we call it, our informal coverage of the final round of the 1970 Masters, to tell you that, again today, we do have ideal weather here at Augusta. You have not had an opportunity to formally meet the members of our CBS broadcast reporter team, but you will have that opportunity in just several moments. We would like to tell you that you will get a chance today, when our formal coverage continues very shortly, to watch play at the 13th, in addition to the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. The finest round of the day thus far has been turned in by Miller Barber, who just before teeing off this morning looked and said to some friends, I can't remember when I've played so poorly. So what did he do? He went out in 35 today, came back in 30, and that 30 tied the record here for the back nine. And so that was the finest round of the day, the finest round of the tournament, and just one away from the course record of 64. So we've had some exciting golf played today. We hope you've enjoyed our informal coverage, and of course we will be with you until a winner is determined today, or if there be a tie, then the playoff system here at the Masters dictates that there is an 18-hole playoff tomorrow. There is no continuation of play today beyond the finish of the regulation 72 holes. So the weatherman has been most kind to us so far in Masters Week here at Augusta, Georgia, and the gallery has had an opportunity to watch some brilliant golf. And everything that has happened thus far today would indicate another exciting finish as the finest players in the world contest for the 1970 Masters title. CBS Television Sports presents, from the Augusta National Golf Club in Augusta, Georgia, the final round of the 1970 Masters Tournament. Good afternoon, this is Ray Scott. As the final round unfolds, the weather continues most pleasant, and there is ample and beautiful evidence that spring has indeed arrived in Augusta. To summarize tournament play so far, Tommy Aaron led the first round with a 68. 69s were posted on Thursday by Gene Littler and Bert Yancy. Friday's play was featured with 68s by Gary Player, Billy Casper, and Takaki Kono. The leaders were Bert Yancy and Gene Littler at 139, 5 under. Yesterday saw the front nine played in 31 by Tommy Aaron, and that tied a record. And the sensational start on the back nine yesterday by Charlie Cootie, who birdied 10, 11, 12, and 13, and that too tied a Masters record. After 54 holes were complete, Billy Casper was in front at -8. Gene Littler 1 stroke back, Gary Player just 2 strokes off the pace, and 3 players only 3 shots back: Tommy Aaron, Charles Cootie, and Bert Yancy. Our CBS coverage includes play at 13 and continues through 18. It is now my pleasure to introduce our CBS broadcast reporters.
I'm Bob Ferrier. I shall be covering the par 5 13th hole.
And I'm Pat Summerall, covering the par 4 14th hole.
And reporting from the par 5 15th, John Durr.
This is Henry Longhurst reporting from the beautiful par 3 16th.
This is Frank Lieber, and I'll be reporting play at the par 4 17th.
And this is Ray Scott. I'll be covering play at the par 4 18th. Now let's check the leaderboard in this, the final round of the 1970 Masters. And indeed we should check the leaderboard, because Gary Player has now joined Gene Littler and Bert Yancy in a 3-way tie for the lead. Billy Casper, who at one stage today had picked up 1 stroke on par and was 9 under, came up with a double bogey at 8, then birdied 9, and we're going to the live action at 13.
Gene Littler with an 80-yard pitch to the flag. His third shot, and a brilliant shot it is too. He can't be more than 6 feet from the hole. Gene Littler leading the tournament with his playing partner Bert Yancy and Gary Player, all at 8 under par. Yancy went for the big shot over the water, over the creek at this hole, carried past the flag, and his ball just trickled into the second trap. at the back left of the green. He lies 2. And faces a very difficult bunker shot from there. He has to play to a fast downhill green with a difficult bridge just halfway across his distance. Bert Yancy, 8 under par. Oh, and that's a brilliant shot. He couldn't have hoped for anything better than that. He's 5 feet from the hole. And this really is very critical for both of these players. This is one of Augusta's most beautiful holes, the Azalea, but I don't suppose either of these men have much time for smelling the flowers today. Yancy will putt first for his birdie. No, it seems that Littler will putt first for his birdie. But there can't be very much difference between the distances here. Holes number 11 and 12 at Augusta are very difficult. 13 is looked on as a prime birdie hole. So this can make a very critical swing either way for either player. Littler putting for the birdie. 5 feet from the hole. Oh, he's made it, Oh, a very good putt under the pressure. Now let's see if Yancy can match it. That one really made Yancy think. Bert Yancy, 13th green, last round of the Masters, and a 4-foot putt to maintain his share of the lead with Gene Littler and Gary Player. Oh, it just slid away. Yancy 8 under par, just missed. Littler 9 under par. And that is a very serious breakdown for Yancy. And so at this moment in the final round of the 1970 Masters tournament, the leader is Gene Littler at 9 under par.
And so Gene Littler has the lead now, but by a very, very narrow 1 shot. And one of the players he is leading, Gary Player, has just hit his second shot to 13, and we're going now to 13.
Billy Casper in the fairway at 13 on his second shot. He's carried the creek, he's carried the water, made the green, and his shot and Gary Player's shot, his playing partner's shot, are almost identical. 40 feet, 45 feet from the hole. Here's Gary Player going for the green on videotape with a big wood. He's carried the water. Very safe, perfect shot. Gary Player approaching the 13th green, 8 under par. Billy Casper, his playing partner, 7 under par. We go to 18.
The reigning British Open champion, Tony Jacklin, just 25 years old, preparing to hit his 3rd shot at the par 4 18th. We're going out to 15 right now.
Dave Hill about to come out of the bunker on the right of the green. reached that point in 2. Running the ball going to be very, very short, though, with his try for the birdie here at the 15th. He needs the birdie because he's quickly running out of holes, and he's 3 strokes away from the lead. And now over to 13.
13th hole. Billy Casper on the right, and Gary Player approach the bridge over the creek. Player is 8 under par for the tournament. Casper 7 under par. Both carry the water with second shots. Both have eagle or birdie chances here. Very critical hole for both of these men. These are the great giants of world golf, playing in one of world golf's greatest tournaments. Billy Casper just on the putting surface, 45 feet from the flag. The green sloping down to the stick. And very little space behind that flag, as you'll see presently. Only 12 feet from the flag to the far side of the green, and 4 or 5 feet after that, the fearful creek, which is out of bounds. Now to 15.
Dave Stockton still trying to get into the thick of things. Chipping from below the hole, but the best he can get here would be a par 5. He was over the green in 2, then off the front edge in 3, back up in 4, and has that little putt for his par 5. Now back to 13.
Gary Player studies his shot. 45 to 50 feet from the hole, 3 or 4 feet into the collar of rough around the green. He's contemplating chipping or putting. Both Gary and Billy Casper, of course, his playing partner, are masterly short game players. And we'll see how they handle these shots. Player 8 under par, Casper 7 under par. We go to 15.
Hill now ready for his try for the birdie. Dave is about 45 feet, but he is 6 under par. Starts walking quickly, noticing that the ball is going to be short, and it is, and we go back to 13.
Gary Player off the fringe of the green, 50 feet from the hole, has his putter for an eagle. Oh, it's nicely over the ridge. It's a good putt. Oh, a fine putt, 3 feet, maybe a little less from the hole. Gary birdies that, he can tie the lead with Gene Littler, who is currently 9 under par. 14th hole.
Gene Littler looking up to the 14th green. He's about 175 yards away. Playing with Bert Yancy. And he's the tournament leader of the 1970 Masters. 9 under par. Just hit the front side of the green. It's a good shot. To 13.
Billy Casper with an eagle putt from 45 feet to tie the lead. Good putt, Casper. Billy Casper 7 under par. We move to 18.
Jack Nicklaus preparing to hit his second shot at 18. This is the par 4 18th. Nicklaus is 4 under for the tournament, 3 under today. Beautiful, beautiful shot. Jack Nicklaus with a beautiful 6-iron within about 3 feet plus a few inches perhaps for a birdie at 18. And back now at 13.
Gary Player, 30 inches from the hole, for a birdie which can tie Gene Littler's lead. He's made it. He's 9 under par, tied with Gene Littler for the lead in the Masters. Now Billy Casper, 7 under par, with a birdie putt. He needs this very badly to keep within one shot of these fellas. This putt can make him 8 under par. And he's got it. And this is going to be as good a Masters finish as ever. 14th hole.
Bert Yancy hit the finest shot we've seen at 14 today, only about 5 feet away. That is Bert Yancy, light slacks and green shirt. He's about 5 feet away from the pin. 8 under par, just one shot back of Gary Player and Gene Littler. There is Littler. Littler has a putter in his hand. He is about 30 feet below the cup, and he'll have to come slightly uphill. He is at a very, very difficult spot on this very tricky green. He has to come up a hill, and the whole green really slopes down to his right. This is his 3rd shot. By about 2 feet by. Now for the birdie try of Bert Yancy for a putt that would put him in at least a share of the lead. Yancy is 8 under, Littler 9 under, Player 9 under. About 5 feet. Bert always seems to play well here at Augusta National. He'll have about 18 inches coming back. He has had 2 good chances the last 2 holes. 4 birdies. Littler is away. He'll putt first. This is for par. Remains 9 under and shares the lead. And now Bert Yancy, who needs this for his par. Bert Yancy remains 8 under par and 1 stroke off the lead. And so at this moment, in the final round of the 1970 Masters tournament, the leaders are Gene Littler and Gary Player at 9 under par.
While we were watching those critical putts of Bert Yancy and Gene Littler, here at 18, Jack Nicklaus was putting for a birdie, and we watched that attempt now on videotape. Now to the live action at 15.
On the 15th tee, Gene Littler has just driven his ball, and Bert Yancy was on the tee now. We see Littler's ball come to rest there in the center of the fairway. This is the 520-yard hole. Yancy, who had birdie opportunities on the last 2 holes, 1 stroke away from the lead. Yancy on this long hole, knowing this is likely to be a birdie for all of the contenders, has also in the fairway, and we go to 14.
And that was the second shot of Billy Casper. Gary Player's already hit. Casper almost hit the flag. He's just on the edge. He's about 14, 15 feet away. Player is over, almost went into the gallery behind the green. That's Player's ball at the right side of your screen, back close to the crowd, and Casper, as I said, about 14 feet away. Now to 15.
Now coming over the water, Tommy Aaron. Tommy, 6 under par, has hit a fine shot in and will have a good chance at his birdie to go 7 under. Aaron has had an up-and-down tournament, but has thrilled the gallery here this week, and he is still fighting in there for a birdie here on 15. Playing with him, Charles Cootie, who reached this green in 2 and will be putting shortly for an eagle. But Cootie has lost strokes today, and he is now -1. As they walk across the bridge onto 15, we go to 14.
And coming up to 14, Gary Player and Billy Casper, the last 2 shots. Casper has hard 14 all 3 days. Player has scored 5, 4, and 3. There have been only 6 birdies here during this 4th and final round. The Player's got only about 14 feet of green to work with. Now let's go to 18.
Here is Larry Hinson playing in his first Masters and preparing to hit his 3rd shot. This is the par 4 18th. And an excellent bunker shot it is by the young man who is, as we say, appearing for the first time here at Augusta National in the Masters. He started the day 1 under par and has not played particularly well today, being 7 over, but he's 6 over par for the tournament. And we're going now to 14.
Gary Player with his 3rd shot. He's the co-leader. He's left himself a very, very difficult putt. And now Billy Casper from about 15 feet. With this putt, for a birdie, he could tie for the lead. Very, very quiet here at the 14th green. The galleries here at Augusta National, as always, very courteous and very knowledgeable. This is for a birdie. And so Billy Casper, who is 8 under par and 1 shot off the lead. Again, par's number 14. So he said he has all 4 days. Gary Player has about 7 or 8 feet for his par. He's tied with Gene Littler at 9 under. But this is a tough, tough putt. Bogey 5 here at 14. If Gary Player makes this putt. And so he slips back to 8 under par if he makes this. Now to 15.
He hit his second shot here on 15, going with the wood. Player made the putt at 14. Littler's ball coming toward and over the 15th green. Bert Yancy had already hit on this hole, and Bert is in the bunker at 15. Bert's ball came at, from our location, we cannot see if he has a good lie or is buried, but it looked as though he hit well into the lip of the bunker there. And so at this moment, in the final round of the 1970 Masters Tournament, the leader is Gene Littler at 9 under par.
So we have a single leader, Gene Littler, and we're going right out to 15.
And at 15, we have lots of action. Billy Casper has driven on 15, and he has hit a beautiful shot into the center of the fairway. Gary Player, whose bogey just dropped him back into 1 stroke away from the lead, is now about to hit on 15. And the little band really turned into that. Hits on the side slope there and moves back into the fairway, and he will have to make a choice of whether or not he wants to gamble at this stage of going over the water. But that's a choice that awaits Gary Player. Meantime, back here at the green, we have a choice. Bert Yancy is in the bunker. As we said, we from this position cannot see what sort of lie he has in the bunker, but you see he's up very close to the lip. We can see the out, though, and it's a good out, a fine out, stopping about 10, 12, 14, 15, maybe 18 feet he will have for his putt to come back. And Bert Yancy is very unhappy with the speed with which that ball came out of the sand. But not yet on the green is the leader, Gene Littler, who has moved over the green with his second shot and has gone up now to study, to look at the way the green rolls around the cup, around the flagstick. Moments of great tension here at 15, with the 4 contenders all playing this 520-yard hole. Littler and Yancy at the green, Casper and Player coming down the fairway to where their drives have already been hit. Littler from over the green I would judge to be about 60 feet, perhaps a little farther from the flagstick itself. The first third of that is up a mound before he gets to the putting surface. That is an excellent shot. An excellent shot by Gene Littler. May well turn out to be the most decisive shot we will see today. And Littler, who is known sometimes as being a rather phlegmatic player, unemotional, gave us a big smile. Wastes little time in tapping it in for his birdie to go still yet another stroke under par, and at this point leads the tournament with 10 under par. Gene Littler, 17 years he's been playing in the Masters tournament. Bert Yancy. Bert hit his tee shot a little wide to the right. Meanwhile, over at 16...
Now here on 16 is Tommy Aaron. And he's just 3 inches short of the bunker with his tee shot. He pushed it out, didn't quite go in, and we threw it back to 15.
Where Bert Yancy tries for his birdie. And oh, so close again. This makes 2 holes in which we thought he had a chance at the birdie. And here, from a very tough try, he almost got the birdie. Birdies on these last few holes are difficult to come by. Yancy finished well yesterday after having a triple bogey at the 12th hole. He came back to be only 5 under par. He is not yet in here at the 15th, but he's close. Now he is, and he is 8 under par. He lost a stroke and backed up the fairway now. Gary Player has come down and looked it over, and he has the wood, and he has decided to go for over the water, to go for it all. And here we will now watch Gary Player's shot, second shot, on the 15th hole. Remember, this is a 520-yard hole. There's water in front, a narrow green, and water beyond. But Player went into the sand. Went into the sand with such speed that the ball bounded out. And he does not have a fried egg lie. He has a good lie in the sand trap. Billy Casper has watched that shot. Casper's drive being considerably to the left of where Player had driven. And Mr. Casper has pulled out the wood. The heavy artillery is being called for here as they make their assault on this 15th hole. Wasting no time, Billy hits the second shot, clears the water, and goes into the same bunker in which we just a few moments ago had one of the contenders, Bert Yancy. We now have Gary Player, and we now have Billy Casper. So of the 4 contenders, none of the 4 actually made the putting surface with their second shots. But Billy Casper walks down the fairway, and we go to 18.
A moment ago, Takaki Kono of Japan had this putt for a 4. He's even with par for the tournament. And 30-year-old, 5'6", 140-pound Takaki Kono, playing in just his second Masters. Last year he tied for 13th. Finishes well today, and we're going back to 16.
And here's Tommy Aaron with a terribly difficult shot, only about 30 feet, lying on loose blown sand. It's gathering speed. Very, very difficult shot it was, really. And it's gathered speed and gone 12 feet past 13, perhaps more. Tommy Aaron, 7 under at the moment. Still, roughly speaking, in the hunt. This is only the 16th. But he'd have done better to go actually into the bunker than there. And so at this moment, in the final round of the 1970 Masters tournament, the leader is Gene Littler at 10 under par.
Can Gene Littler, 40 years of age, playing in his 17th Masters, cling to that two-shot lead over three of the finest players in the world, Gary Player, Bert Yancy, and Billy Casper, with Tommy Aaron conceivably waiting in the wings? We'll know the answer to that over these next moments here at Augusta National Golf Club as our gallery is watching continued outstanding golf, and we're going to the live action at 16.
There is Littler in his tee shot. And he's pushed it right out, and it flopped into the short bunker on the right, and must have been, for him at this moment, a really bad shot. We go to 15.
And as one goes into the sand, one comes out. Gary Player coming out of the sand, but coming out quite short. He had a good 100 feet, and as you know, that's one of the more difficult shots from the bunker. Now back over to 16.
Back to 16, we have Bert Yancy. Littler 10 under, Yancy jointly second with 8 under. That looked a much better one. That's nicely on the back of the green for Bert Yancy, about 35 feet away. And back to 15.
Billy Casper's ball came to rest in the front portion of the green, but not so close to the edge of the green as that it might impede his shot. He is in good position. The difficulty that he has here, as mentioned earlier, is that he is approximately 100 feet or perhaps a little more from the flagstick itself, a long bunker shot. This will require a good deal of running. The ball is getting the run. And a very, very fine shot by Billy Casper here, putting him in position for a birdie. So that he walks up as Gary Player, who is away by a considerable distance. The appreciative gallery here at this joint for 16th and the 15th, as Gene Littler walks along the fairway by the water on 16, gets a tremendous round of applause from the gallery which has been sitting here and watching good golf all day. Gary Player has continued to line up his ball from beyond the cup. He is well aware of the circumstance that this try for a birdie, which is in front of him now, may be his best birdie try remaining of these last few holes. And out in front of him is Gene Littler at 10 under par. And Gary is 8 under and trying to go 9 under with this shot. Whether he knows that Littler's in the bunker, I don't know. Player is about decided. At this point, he has determined where the line is. Meanwhile, we have Gene Littler in the bunker at 16. That's the par 3 16th, immediately behind our location here. Player going for the birdie. Littler coming out of the bunker very nicely onto the putting surface at 16. Not close to the hole. Will still have a very difficult putt. Player going for the birdie. Goes just a shade by. This means that he will have gone through 15, still 2 strokes away from the lead. But that lead may be undergoing a little change too back at 16 because Littler has quite a long putt. And Billy Casper now with his try for the birdie from a considerably shorter distance. Known for a long time as perhaps the premier putter of the American golfers. He needs to pull one of those regular Casper putts out of the bag at this point. One stroke away from the lead that may be in balance on the 16th hole in a very few moments. And we go over to Henry Longhurst at 16.
Here's Bert Yancy, 30 to 35 feet away from the hole. If he gets it in, which is not likely on this slippery green, he will be the first birdie we've seen today at the 16th. Bert Yancy. Just faded away, you see, and it's 4 feet past. Very difficult to stop them just by the hole. And Littler, a little unlucky with his bunker shot, which pitched just in a little fringe of the green, pulled up. It might have gone another few feet. Now he's left with a 15-footer. Rather uphill. Been putting absolutely beautifully this week. But this really is a very difficult one, although it's only 15 feet. Now, come on, a little more. Now, his best finish has been 4th so far in the Masters. Now he's dropped a stroke there and goes back to 9 under from 10. Under for Littler, level now with Casper, who's waiting on the tee behind. Yancy 8 under. Anything can happen, but he must hold this putt. Can't afford to go 2 behind. It's up the slope now for Yancy, so he can at least afford to hit it fairly firmly. Very big moment for Yancy, the 16th. This to stay 8 under. Very finely held putt for Yancy. As they leave it, it's Littler 9 under, Yancy 8 under, and we go back to the tee. The flag, we don't see it very clearly there, from there, which I'll do later, but the flag is just on the left of the far right-hand bunker. Casper, 9 under, player 8. Also Yancy, 8 under, and Littler, 9 under. So they're waiting for the trap to be raked on the left there, where Littler has just played his trap shot from. You can see the whole of the hole back there, 190 yards, flag fairly well on the back of the green, and not a single 2 here today yet. We had so many yesterday when the flag was way up on the left. One would have thought more difficult. Now here, the closing stages of 1970 Masters. Last we shall see of the 16th hole, and Billy Casper, level with Littler at 9 under. Left, but it's well up. 5, 10 holes it may go, yes, onto some rather rough stuff just at the back of the green. A tricky little shot back, but he should somehow, I think, make a 3. Now we go back to the tee. Gary Player, who together with Yancy is 8 under against Littler and Casper 9 under. Ruled on the flag. Well, about 9 feet for Player, and maybe the last man of the day may get the first birdie. Throw to 17.
And on the tee at 17, co-leader Gene Littler in this 400-yard par 4. 17th. Trees guarding both sides of the fairway. And that shot looks like it has absolutely split the 17th fairway right near the ball of Bert Yancy. Yancy has split the fairway as well here on 17, in perfect position. And so at this moment in the final round of the 1970 Masters Tournament, the co-leaders are Gene Littler and Billy Casper at 9 under par.
And so the excitement is high and the dramatics continue here at Augusta National as the 1970 Masters indeed is drawing down just as fine as it can be. And can you imagine that in our final two twosomes are the two co-leaders and the two men who are just one shot behind? This, I guess, would be about as close to match play and still having medal play as you could have. You have just everything that is fine and dramatic in golf boiled right down to our last four players on the course. Oh, my. And we're all just caught up in this excitement here at Augusta National and enjoying every moment of it, and we trust that you are too. Let's go out now to part of that action at 16.
There's Billy Casper. He's just over the green by a foot or so on some rather nasty bare stuff there. You can see it very well. He's about 35 feet, and he's playing down the hill. He can't afford to go for it. He's got to try and lie it up close to the hole, and he'd have to settle for a 3 here, I think. He'll probably take a putter. You could easily fluff it with anything else from that bare lie. Casper, 9 under. Player with a putt for a 2, 8 under. Casper has his putter. He'll roll it down this fast slope. Hope it won't gather speed and go by. Casper level with Littler, leading the tournament, 9 under. Just from behind the 16th. I'd better hit the hole. But no, it's a good 4 feet past for Casper. And there is Littler's ball on 17. Back to 16. Gary Player lining up his putt, 8 or 9 feet. And just where he would like it to be, below the hole, fairly straight and up the slope. He can give it a chance. As I've said, we haven't seen a single birdie do at this hole today, and here's the very positively final chance. Gary Player. This to go 9 under and join the leaders. Well, that doesn't need any description from me. That was it in slow motion, and what a putt, and what a moment. And I would add that they got a standing ovation from the crowd, the two of them, as they came onto this green. And now, that won't have made Casper's any shorter. This is a good 4 feet for Casper to stay 9 under. There are 2 brave putts with which we conclude on the 16th green today. And so at this moment, in the final round of the 1970 Masters Tournament, the leaders are Gene Littler, Billy Casper, and Gary Player at 9 under.
If for any particular reason you had to leave your television set, we have a 3-way tie, and we're going right out to 17.
On the tee, Gary Player. Player to the right center portion of the fairway. He is far down the right-hand side of the fairway. And at this point, we don't know if he's in any trouble or not. Now Billy Casper. Two big trees in this fairway, one on the left side up near the top of the screen, the other off to the right. Present a very narrow opening here on 17. And Casper's tee shot is going to be right down the middle. Fine tee shot, a bit to the right of center, but he'll be in good position. Meanwhile, back on the green, Bert Yancy, whose second shot was to the back of the 17th green with a long birdie putt attempt. He's better than 30 feet away. This could tie him for the lead. And Yancy will have a foot and a half or 2 feet for his par 4, which will keep him one shot behind the leaders. Now, Gene Littler with him, keep in mind, has a shot at a birdie from between 15 and 20 feet away. Gets his par and remains at 8 under for the tournament, one shot off the lead as this large gallery completely encircling the 17th hole, and this is where the action is right now. Gene Littler, call it between 15 and 20 feet. This is for birdie 3 and the lead in the 1970 Masters with just one hole to go. He'll have 6 or 8 inches for his par 4. And Littler remains tied for the lead at 9 under par as he leads the 17th green. Meanwhile, out of the fairway, Billy Casper taking a look at his shot at the right center portion of the fairway. Casper's ball, indicated by the line on the left, player is far to the right in the area of the 15th fairway, and how much trouble we will have remains to be seen. You can see Gary from this point will have a blind shot to this green. There's a series of 3 large mounds which run down the right side of the 17th fairway, and from the point where his ball is, will completely block his view to the green. He probably will not be able to see the top of the flagstick. Let's go to 18.
On the tee at 18, Bert Yancy. This is the par 4, dogleg right. Beautiful position. Right center of the fairway, and now Gene Littler. Incidentally, Littler has managed to par this hole each of the first 3 rounds when he recorded scores of 69, 70, and 70. Bert Yancy bogeyed Thursday, but parred Friday and again yesterday. Let's first go back to 17.
That's the shot of Billy Casper, and Casper is 4 feet away from a birdie 3 on 17. Billy Casper from the right center portion of the fairway. Meanwhile, back out on the fairway, Gary Player wants a good long look at the shot he's going to have. Gary, of course, has won the Masters once, finished second twice. We go to 18.
Gene Littler. One of 3 tied for the lead. Littler playing with him, Yancy, 1 stroke behind. And he is just off the fairway to the left, but should have no particular difficulty and should be clear to the flagstick. And let's pause now 5 seconds for station identification. Now, Gary Player is aware of the fact that Billy Casper is definitely close to a birdie, because this, you see, is the situation. Casper and Player are the final twosome. Littler has already left 17-9 under and has driven at 18. The second shot of Billy Casper with this result at the 17th hole, so he's within a birdie range definitely. And now we're going to watch the second shot, and we go to 17.
Player is actually in the 15th fairway. As he prepares to hit his second shot, he cannot see the green that he is shooting at. From about 140, 150 yards away, Player's second shot is on the way. It is in the center of the 17th green, and certainly a fine shot from that point. And from here, it's obvious in this twosome, Casper has the advantage. He'll have a 4-foot birdie putt attempt. Player will be putting from 25 to 30 feet away. Billy Casper, who last year led at the end of 3 rounds in the Masters and wound up 1 shot away from winning his first green coat. And Gene Littler, also looking for his first green coat, walking up the 18th fairway. Casper has always played 17 exceedingly well, it seems. From our memory in the past at Augusta National, he birdied this hole on Thursday and on Friday. He parred yesterday. The hand is for Gary Player. Just a tremendous gallery around 17, and you're looking at a portion of them. Let's go to 18.
Now, the drive to the right is the drive by Yancy, who is 1 stroke behind the 3 men who are leading. The drive that's the drive that's in the fairway and about 280 yards from the tee. Now, just off to the left of the fairway is the drive by Gene Littler, who is 1 of 3 tied for the lead. And there is Littler going over to survey the situation. Now, you see, he must carry that bunker which protects the left front of the green. And the flagstick, as you will see, is on the left front of the green. Actually, if you're interested in exact distances, the flagstick is 23 feet from the front edge. And Gene Littler is 1 of 3, tied for the lead at 9 under par. But one of those 3, Billy Casper, is in birdie position. Now, there's the pin placement, and that, you see the bunker there? That's the bunker that Gene Littler must carry from that point. The par 4, just a great finishing hole, the 18th here at Augusta National. 17th Masters appearance for Gene Littler. In 1962, Gene Littler posted his finest finish, a 4th place finish here at Augusta. Now, let's see what's going on at 17 now, where our final twosome of Gary Player and Billy Casper are. That's, we had the quick look there at Gary Player, who'll have a long putt in a moment. Meanwhile, attention here at 18 centered on Gene Littler's second shot from about 160 yards. Perhaps a bit more, not much though. Magnificent second shot by Gene Littler. Back at 17 now. This is the birdie putt attempt by Gary Player. And now Bert Yancey's second shot at 18. He needs a birdie to tie for the lead. He's 1 shot behind. within just inches of clearing the bunker. But a sand shot is facing Bert Yancy, who has been so close to winning that green jacket and has always played well at Masters. Now let's go back to 17.
Billy Casper has 4 to 5 feet above the hole here. Most putts we have seen from this angle have been breaking to Casper's left. This is for undisputed possession of the lead with 1 hole to go. Casper detecting some movement immediately behind the green. This could be one of the most important putts of his career, as Gene Littler acknowledges the applause on 18. For the lead. All the body English in the world by Billy Casper, and it goes by 1.5 feet, and now he needs this for par. This is a tricky little putt from here. So Casper remains at 9 under par and tied for the lead. There you see it again in slow motion, spinning off the cup, and look at Casper. Boy, if ever body English could put the ball in the cup, that would have done it. Now Gary Player. He's going for par 4. He has a putt of 4 to 5 feet, about the same distance as Casper's, only his from the side. It's a very severe pin placement here at 17. Really pinched in the narrowest part of the green on the far right-hand side, 15 feet from the edge. Pressure putt by Gary Player, who remains tied for the lead. Let's go to 18.
Bert Yancy has just come out of that bunker in front of the green, and he has a very tricky downhill putt of about 15 feet remaining for a 4. Now, Gary Player's putt again. That pressure putt, we watched it on videotape a second time, and that came at 17, and he had to get that down to remain in a tie for the lead at 9 under par. Now, on the tee at the 72nd hole, our final twosome, Billy Casper, Gary Player, tied for the lead with Gene Littler, who is on this final green in 2. And Littler will be putting for a birdie in just a moment or so. That's Bert Yancy right there. He's there in 3. And to retain any chance at all, of course, he must get his putt down, and that, of course, is suggesting that Gene Littler would have to 3-putt. But that's happened. That's happened here at 18. We've only had 16 birdies through the first 3 rounds. 7 the first day, 5 the second, and 4 the third. So there's Bert Yancy on the green, and here is Gary Player on the tee at the final hole. "420 yards this final hole at Augusta National. Perfect drive, just perfect. About 275 yards off the tee is Gary Player, who has parred, and bogeyed in that order. And now Billy Casper, who has picked up his 4 every day. Casper is 1 under today. Player is 3 under today. They are both 9 under for the tournament. Well, the folks back at the tee said beautiful as soon as he hit it, and they knew. This is Bert Yancy for a must 4. 31-year-old Bert Yancy, playing in his 4th Masters, has again come so close. 1967, playing in his 1st Masters, he led for 3 rounds and finished 3rd. 1968, finished 3rd. A bogey 5, 2 under par 70, and Bert Yancy completes the 1970 Masters at 7 under par. Another outstanding showing for Yancy. Now it's all up to one of 3 men. And here's one. Gene Littler putting for a birdie that could place him 10 under par. Distance, about 18 feet, 19. This is for the lead. A round of 70. And 2 fine competitors leave the 72nd green. As back down the fairway are the 2 men tied with Littler, Gary Player and Billy Casper. Here is Player. Yesterday, when Player bogeyed this 18th hole, his 2nd shot was in the bunker in front of the green. He was not able to get down in 2. It would appear that Billy Casper has just made a double check on distance. Player will hit first. Remember now, if we finish in a tie at the end of the regulation 72 holes, there will be an 18-hole playoff tomorrow. And we'll bring you the conclusion of what... and of course, we're not just going to dispense with things today with just some scores and statistics. You'll get a chance to visit with those who tie, if indeed there is a tie. Jack Nicklaus today used a 6-iron for his 2nd shot. Some of our players have used 7 irons, but a 5 and a 6-iron would perhaps be the most used club for the 2nd shot at this 420-yard finishing hole. So now all eyes turn to Gary Player as Billy Casper waits. In the bunker. For the 2nd day running, Gary Player's 2nd shot has found the bunker at 18. And now Billy Casper. And definitely a birdie possibility is set up by Billy Casper with a pressure-packed, great 2nd shot at 18. So at this moment, in the final round of the 1970 Masters Tournament, our leaders, 3 of them, are tied at 9 under par. Right. And so this Masters title is on the line at the 72nd hole. Gary Player is in the bunker in front of the green. Now, we should tell you that earlier today, and of course what another player did has no meaning at all. We mentioned it only to point out that from almost the same point in this bunker earlier today, Dick Lotz holed it out for a birdie. Now, as far as, let's take a little closer look here as far as actual distance from the flagstick. About 37 feet plus another 10. So close to 50 feet from the flagstick is Gary Player. He must get down in 2 to tie Gene Littler, who has finished 9 under par. And then, of course, there remains the possibility of a birdie putt that could win it all for Billy Casper. So, veterans, 39-year-old Billy Casper, 33-year-old Gary Player, the only foreign player ever to win the Masters. And that was in 1961. Now, I'll tell you, unless my eyes played tricks on me, that came very close to holding out on one of several bounces on the green. But Gary Player, who ran down a pressure putt at 17 to save par and remain at 9 under and tied for the lead, has a pressure putt ahead of him for a 4. But before he putts, let's watch that shot again. One bounce. 2. Oh, not quite as close as I thought. But that, I'm sure you noticed, that was from a partially buried lie. That was just a great shot. So now Billy Casper, putting for a birdie that could win it all. If he does win it today, you, of course, will get an opportunity to sit in on an informal presentation of that coveted green Masters jacket. If there is no winner today, if we go to that 18-hole playoff tomorrow, you will still get a chance to visit with those who have tied at the end of the regulation 72 holes. So enough of the words. Let's just watch right now as Billy Casper can win the Masters with this putt. We are assured of at least a 2-way playoff. And I would just have to think that it takes a fantastic amount of composure at a moment like that for a putt to be just as close as this one is about to be as we watch it again in slow motion on videotape. And now, Gary Player. If there's to be a 3-way playoff, he must run down this putt. Winner of this Masters in 1961, runner-up in 1962, and again in 1965. Won the British Open twice, the U.S. Open once. Fantastic concentration by the player and the gallery. gentlemen, there is almost a collective sigh from our gallery here at Augusta National as Gary Player, in just a gallant bid to force a three-way playoff tomorrow, loses out, and we will indeed have a two-way playoff, because that's the way it finished after 72 holes of dramatics at Augusta National.